Oh, okay. Okay. So, I'm trying to think here. Trying to think. Got lost in train of thought. The previous stream was like 2 weeks ago, and I'm gonna try to digest that a little bit more. And so let's, I guess, like try to get into a little bit of the story and the gameplay a little bit more. And what I was trying to get at. So, like, the level design. All right, well, I want to start with the. Probably just go ahead and finish at the top of the story. Is that it's an okay story. It feels like they were trying to go for something a little bit more lengthy, and they kind of seem to have cut it short. And it seems like the budget towards the end was starting to dry up, and that was kind of reflected in the final boss, because it really felt like the better thing for the final boss would have had been to jump between airship to airship with the using the songbird on top of it, rather than just being in a battle arena, because the arena's concept didn't fit very well for a final boss when it's like you already killed your main antagonist of the story. They're not really there. The wave-based thing would have fit better if they were like, if you were just jumping from Zeppelin to Zeppelin, and you were just like trying to like whack out those Zeppelins instead of trying to defend one, because the defensive thing doesn't give off like final boss story bit. And it's probably why like they're trying to like squeeze all like the, answers in at the tail end. But I think the explaining part, particularly with like the lighthouses that you jump in between, and the part where you just, that whole sequence feels like they were trying to answer questions that probably shouldn't have been answered. I think it probably would have been better to leave the mystery alone. They could have shortened that down to just like probably about a 5 minute sequence. I was like, oh, he was, there's a little bit of a time travel mechanic here, but like when they answered like, the space material with the background characters that pop up every now and again, whatever their names were. They answer that space thing, and then Elizabeth, she's supposed to be like the time character, but not necessarily like there's a mismatch of themes, but they didn't blend together those themes in a way that I thought was, it could have turned inward on each other. That there was the real antagonist should have been, the brother sister combo that kind of showed up in the background, but instead like they're like kind of the helper characters, but we already had the helper characters, and we don't really have a villain after the one girl gets with after Elizabeth kills the one lady. Like, we don't really have a villain. Comsec really isn't a villain at that point, because there's just too much of like him sitting in the background and jumping back and forth between the Vox, and like why are the Vox the final boss? It's like we never really set up for like, a communist revolution at all is like the thing you're fighting against. So it feels like there was a lot of moving pieces, and then about halfway you kill the one lady, and then you don't, Comstock, like, he showed up, like, at least in the early part of the game, like at least once. You think, oh, he would show up again later to like continue the antagonizing, but it's like after you start doing the time, after you flipping, the time elements together, you just end up in a position where you're the story itself, it's like, oh, this, like, you do this thing, and then like now the story is twisting up, and it's like, oh, now the Vox are gaining power all of a sudden because you're now flipping between dimensions and stuff. But it's like, why? Like yeah, kind of like, really, like, why? It doesn't, there's no points where it's like, oh, you accidentally flip time here at this one occurrence, and you like start rolling back, you know, the Vox's like onslaught, and now Comstock is stronger for some reason. That like you don't really roll in between those, and then you get to the sequence where you know you see like old Elizabeth in like the 1980s for that little bit. It's like feels like a really weak segment in like in the larger story as a result of the she's not really doing you much. She just like send the message to the Elizabeth in the past that's you're supposed to be still with, but you don't ever do anything of that again. It's like the information kind of comes at once, and then you just like, oh, now you're working with the songbird. It's like it would have been better if like she figured that part out herself, or like it kind of got answered in some other way that kind of related to the story, but it felt like too much of a detour. Like it would have been cooler if instead of like you talking to future Elizabeth, you just like find the notes of future Elizabeth and then you bring them back because that's how is it like the one like it just I just feel like that could have probably been a better result of the story rather than you just like now you have access to Songbird and then you just kill Comstock and then that's kind of the end of the story after you do a little like arena battle. So overall, I still think the art direction and the like you know early 20th century U.S. style is kind of neat. It has like this weird mix between like this hyper authoritarian alternative dimension where it's like that was actually probably the the least authoritarian time in like U.S. history. So like you twist it up with like you have an authoritarian time ruler who gets overruled by other authoritarian types, and then you have basically what should be a society with kind of a collapsing economy, like basically at all times, which you can kind of see it's like everything's high and mighty in the air, but you know at the end of the day, a system like Columbia wouldn't really make sense because they don't have like mines for resources. They don't really seem to show that there's farms for farming. So everything, but material wise, has to be like basically imported or taken off the ground in some capacity. So like it feels like things sort of set up to fail. But because it was just so cheap to put buildings in the sky, it's like everybody who had the silver coin, ran to that because in that same time frame of the 1920s, that's when like the Federal Reserve was made in the central bank, so people would have wanted to protect their assets by getting away from it. And so like this 1912 era to the 1920s, that's when the Federal Reserve happened, and like you didn't have any economic collapses before then. They just didn't exist really. It's like even at that time, like even Great Britain had like huge reserves of gold, and they would never have swapped them out for a fiat currency because they would have had they had just so much gold that wouldn't have made any sense. And the same thing with the U.S. had huge gold reserves at that time. Like why would you ever put on like a central bank for a fiat currency to do what with it? So I guess we'll get into the DLC here. I kind of was spoiled on the story. I really was kind of spoiled on it like years ago, but like didn't really understand it very well. So I'm just gonna probably do the main episodes here, and then maybe I'll do Clash in the Clouds if I feel like going back to it. Yeah, let's do meeting because I'd rather have it for the story than anything else.
We're closed.
You don't look the sort who can afford to turn down legitimate work.
What do you want?
How about we start with a light?
Well, you got a name, miss?
Elizabeth. You can call me Elizabeth.
What can I do for you?
There's a girl who needs to be found. Maybe you've seen her.
This girl. This girl's dead.
You know her.
You'll see dozens of her tied down by the docks or the slums in Apollo Square. Orphans. With Fontaine's charity shut. No place for them.
But her you know.
As I said, girl's dead.
Lost.
Look, I don't know where you get...
Lost isn't dead. Name your rate, I will pay you for this work. You do this one gratis, wouldn't you?
I don't follow.
Something tells me you will. Seems my instincts were correct.
Where's Sally?
I don't know, but I know someone who does. Follow me.
What's this girl to you?
What I need from her is my business. But I know where to start looking. Something tells me a man with your particular talents could be useful. What happened to these children? What are they?
Where have you been? Cabin in Arcadia? Little sisters. Atom factories.
It's grotesque.
Red means stop, green means go. This
Compromise? Is that why we came to Rapture? Come on.
But I say you should have to prove you're properly versed on a topic before you're allowed to vote on it. Otherwise, it's just a...
Funny.
What?
You not knowing about the little sisters. How long have you been in Rapture?
Let's just say I don't get out much.
You've got eyes and ears, don't you?
If I wanted to share my life story, Mr. DeWitt, I would write my memoirs. If I learned anything about Rapture, that it was a place where people understood to mind their own business.
Where are we headed?
The man we need to see is in the Garden of the Muses.
How do you know?
My sources are my own, Mr. DeWitt. If you have better information as to the whereabouts of your girl, I suggest you avail yourself of it.
Where are you taking me?
When's the last time you saw Sally?
What?
She was taken from you, wasn't she?
How do you know this?
She was taken, down at Surprise. You were playing the tables and...
She disappeared.
And?
Cop friend of mine, Sullivan, says they found her floating in the docks.
You see the body?
Look.
Did you see the body? This world values children, not childhood. There's a profit to be made and men who make it. I'm taking you to one of them. Mr. DeWitt, you all right?
I'm fine. Just get these spells sometimes. It'll pass.
Refreshments, eh? Madam?
We're fine, thanks.
I went through basic. It's decent stuff. But the Italians. Papa this, Papa that.
Some of this to your worries? Buy a puppy. Me.
Mr. DeWitt, we'll find my source inside of that club.
Cohen? What does that lunatic have to do with Sally?
Private party. No entry without invitation.
We'll see about that.
Which business do you represent, sir?
Business?
Yes, which business?
DeWitt Investigations.
Mr. Cohen does not truck with private detectives. Masks of invitation went to artists and craftsmen alone.
I'm with the artist struggle. We're expected.
No mask, no entry.
Stuffed shirt.
These invitation masks he spoke of, they must have gone out to local artisans.
Well, I guess we'll have to persuade someone to loan us one.
The business of Rapture is business. Says it's sponsored by the Artist Struggle, the Golden Rule, and Rapture Records.
I guess those stores would be as good a place to start as any.
So they want something more.
What brought you to
open
Rapture?
world.
A man
Really? You don't strike me as the romantic type.
wasn't that kind of man.
Then what?
There's a debt that needs repaying.
I've known my share of Shylocks. You're no Shylock.
Wasn't that kind of debt.
Suchong observe strangest of coincidences. On other side of a window, man in strange hat experimenting on Suchong's own creation. On plasmid. Man name of Fink. Outrage! Theft of intellectual property! But man name of a Fink is no fool. Through addition of oxidizing agent, turns plasmid ingestible through stomach lining. Mr. Ryan very impressed with Su Chong's initiative. Theft of intellectual property. Two-way street. Are you in?
Don't waste the time with that.
Why are you wasting your time with that one?
All that unpleasantness with Fontaine.
Invitations to Cohen shows are highly coveted. Nobody's gonna just hand us one.
You think you can figure out a way to distract the store owner while I take a look around?
You just find the mask. Leave the distractions to me.
Why, hello.
Excuse me. The lady has some questions for you.
Yes, of course. Interesting, isn't it? An original Sander Cohen. He calls it miasma.
I'm sorry, but I know precious little about art.
How does it make you feel?
Cohen sends those masks out in some kind of box.
what foolishness might tumble out.
Damn. Must be somewhere else.
Oh, what? Oh, I would like so much to understand.
In this piece, Cohen intended to witness the society of a great man, condemned to breathe the swampy air
Of the parasite.
You've given me so much to think about. I feel a trifle swoony. Would you mind if I return tomorrow for further education?
I shall be here at your service. Until tomorrow.
Any luck?
Nothing. Let's find another shop.
Where to next? Rapture Records and the Golden Rule are both downstairs.
You need something, friend? This clown bothering you?
You're all gone.
Good day to you, sir.
You see that dish I walked in with? Will you give her the star treatment, pal? That'll make it worth your while.
Of course, right away.
I'm interested in this piece.
Ah, excellent. You've an eye, haven't you, miss? It's a natural sapphire and diamond, 18-karat gold ring, fully hallmark for Paris, 1887.
Really?
The center cabochon... Excuse me, sir.
That's a lot of
find that
fine
box.
talk about a stolen ring. Right out of her coffin in
Nothing.
Twilight Field. Did you think we wouldn't
Only
know?
one place left.
The assurances of a grave robber are of no interest to me. If you hand the ring back, the matter will remain between you and me.
You come into my shop and talk this trash. I don't think so. Hit the bricks, you tramp!
or I'll see to it that
Get your hands off me! Might be best if we were gone when he wakes up. Nothing?
No. Got one place left, though.
And if that proves to be fruitless?
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
How is Ryan taking over?
You ever met the man?
Used to see him all the time at Wade's garden.
Frank Fontaine.
Hey, pal. You want to help out the little lady?
Yes, of course.
What is this piece?
It's by Trenet. But of course, covered.
Where is he hiding that? Oh, there you are, you little son of a bitch.
Music does something to me. Especially something in this. It's almost primal.
Part of us that exists before thought, before logic, pure. I must go. I must go. Even one more note shall prove my undoing. Good. You've located the mask.
Third time's the charm.
All right. It's best we head back to Cohen's.
Dr. Stein.
Fine piece of work back with those shopkeepers. You've got a bit of the grifter in you.
For that, you can thank my father.
Oh, yeah?
He was a man comfortable in a variety of roles.
Ah, Mr. DeWitt. Back again.
So soon.
The Great Chain guides all of our efforts, even if we can't.
So, what kind of field you in?
Field?
Yeah, you know, occupation. Can't imagine what kind of employment would lead you to tag along on a job like this.
I suppose you could say I work in debt collection. This better work. Otherwise, we'll certainly look the fools.
Trust me.
Ah, very well. Mr. Cohen awaits your participation at his performance.
So who is this fellow Cohen? Some sort of underworld figure?
Worse. He's an artist.
An artist who kidnaps children.
Cohen's muse is a bit more diverse. I've seen his type. Gets an idea in his head, end a conversation. Don't matter who gets hurt.
Dance, dance, move! Be the conduit! Open yourselves to the music, to the spirit of the eternal! No. Why do you fail in this fashion? To embarrass me in front of my muse? My muse shall not be mocked. Fitzpatrick! Please! The stick! For God's sake! My muse shall not be mocked! Get them out of here! There shall be no failure on my canvas. Oh, there's no room in rapture anymore for the artist. Who are you?
Name's DeWitt.
Is that right? My. This one's a real biscuit. Isn't he a biscuit, ladies?
I need to ask you a few questions.
Questions, yes. Yes. It is the work of man to ask. It is the work of the artist to answer.
You've seen this girl, haven't you?
We artists see more than most. You are more than you claim to be, little songbird. Are you not? Watch this one, DeWitt. She'll take you where you don't want to go. But I know the child in that photo is important to you. So many children flit, flit, flit away. I know where the girl is. And I will send you to her. In exchange, all I ask is a dance.
What?
I see something in you two. Art strips away artifice. Show me who you are, and I will show you where you need to go.
Cold son of a bitch.
Mr. DeWitt.
What?
Dance with me.
Come, dance!
I shudder to think what greater price he might care to extract.
Fitzpatrick! Beauty and pain. They can be no more separated than birth and blood.
What do you think Cohen's customers do with the children? Do they?
Sometimes. But those types lack the capital of people like Ryan and Sucho.
That's a blessing.
You saw those little sisters? You so sure? But if Su Chong had Sally, I'd know it.
How?
Because I tied him to a chair and asked him.
So?
For 15 hours.
I don't know what to make of you, Mr. DeWitt.
No!
Listen, we're not gonna keep...
Fitzpatrick! I see suffering in you. I know how to shine a light on your pain. A moth will become a butterfly.
Neat.
Mr. DeWitt!
Mr. DeWitt! Are you all right?
I'm fine.
You were dreaming. You kept saying your daughter's name, Sally.
She's not my daughter.
I thought...
Pain and beauty! To an artist, they are parent and child.
Cohen?
I am sending you to find your young one. No need to thank me. I'm not so sure you'll like what you find.
Look.
Fontaine's. Ryan sent the whole thing to the bottom.
But it's a prison now. Why would Cohen have sent Sally there?
I don't know.
Everyone has needs. I merely provide a service for those who have the means to pay. You'll find your little bird in the housewares department.
How many people do you suppose Ryan's got locked up in that place?
Enough. Fontaine had amassed something near an army. Now they're down there, spliced up and wild. All right, there's a dock up ahead.
Takes a cold son of a bitch to do that to a living person.
What's that?
Burial, let's see.
You read your residency contract with Ryan Industries? In perpetuity. We're all buried at sea. comfortable. Keep your eyes open.
There seem to be some supplies this way, Mr. DeWitt.
It's Booker.
What?
Just call me Booker.
If it's all the same to you, let's leave it, Mr. DeWitt. Let's have another look around. Perhaps we'll be able to find something to get us up and over.
Could be handy.
A skyhook?
Skyhook? You mean the air grabber? Kids use them to ride around up on the pneumo lines.
Air grabber? Huh. Constants and variables.
Constants and what?
Never mind.
Stuck.
I want the frosty one. Get me the frosty.
Mr. DeWitt, someone's coming.
All right, I got the grabber unjammed.
Now, where do you get off?
Mr. DeWitt, look. Housewares. That's where Cohen said we'd find Sally. The store ran trams between the three buildings. We'll need to avail ourselves of that.
Assuming it still works.
Optimism, Mr. DeWitt. It helps in situations like this.
Well, that was another thing that I was thinking about, was that, at least in the main game, one of the issues that was present was the lacking of... So you had the Vigors, and they were useful in their ways to do the, you know, to get through the game, but it was only combative in nature. The one, the disappointing thing was that you only use the one, like, electrical power to actually progress through a few occasional spots. It's like there was hardly ever time to, like, you need to, like, burn down, like, some plants to, you know, progress to, like, a garden area, or you needed to, like, you know, use the crow power to, like, sneak past some guards or something. But obviously that's not how that power worked. But that's the point. It's like the powers kind of ended up being like the same thing in a lot of cases, and it kind of just there was like an emptiness almost to like the reasoning behind things. Like, oh, you're suddenly like, now this one occasion you use the power to turn on one of like the environmental variables, but then in a later occurrence you never see that used again. Like, it just never comes up. And so, like, between all the powers, like, you could have had the dashing power, like, used to, like, get in between certain points. But they kept things focused, I guess. It must have been stricter on a budget than anything. So, perhaps something to consider.
When did you come to Rapture?
Oh, it was, geez, I guess around 51? No, 48?
That's a rather large gap.
Time. Life I had before. Sort of becomes a blur. 49. 49 for sure. Damn.
You look a mess, Mr. DeWitt.
Just keep your eyes open for splicers. They can do us a whole lot worse.
I've never heard of birds that didn't like seeds. What's the matter?
I deserve better!
Need more time! Mr. DeWitt, look.
Well, there's the tram.
That splicer had no problem freezing a path for himself before.
I'm sure he'll be happy to do the same for us.
I have no doubt you'll prove persuasive. Mr. DeWitt, look. An ice rink.
Be good at places any to look for our new friend.
Says it's on the top floor.
So we go up. Damn thing's locked.
Let me see that. Oh, have matters progressed so little? I could turn this with a rake pick. Done.
Where'd you learn that?
Oh, it's something I picked up a long time ago.
Yeah, our frozen friend leaves a hell of a trail.
Just let me in, okay? Over there. Fontaine, he said we're all equal down here now, all in the same boat. I just want a taste of some high-class food.
You need Eve! Catch, Mr. DeWitt!
And everything will be fine.
Look up there.
I can change, sugar. I can. Just give me a chance. Peanut? How could you?
Oops, whoop, all right. I didn't even see this. I guess you were supposed to like light it on fire, and then you would have hit that and learned about the diesel. Diesel wouldn't do that actually. It's being thicker element, so it wouldn't explode so violently like gas does.
Of my first play, the herald said, "A dead whale has washed up at the Schubert."
Oh, so like get a hat or a hat, so I can just take it and not have to worry about putting it on.
Theater and stinks a little more with each passing night. The Tribune called my first opera as having the effect of canceling out all of Mozart's classics in a single caterwaul. And now, critics take me to task for my humanitarian work. If I were not there to find a home for these orphans, would these bellyachers take my place? An artist once said.
What's happened to these people? They don't even seem sane.
Nothing beats your first splice. From there, it's all downhill. The frozen frosties, the jockeys who will hand you 1,000 volts as soon as look at you.
You sound sympathetic.
They will be the first sons of bitches who found an answer at the bottom of a bottle. But once you see them go all weak at the knees at the sight of a little sister and all her atom, they cut a less sympathetic figure.
keep you soft.
You can't judge a man only by his bookings. Character's gotta come into account.
You in the bedroom?
I need more time to look.
Want to take a look at this?
Oh, this won't take long at all. Ready.
I keep dropping audio diaries in the pneumo tubes like a message in a goddamn bottle, hoping one will get through and someone will save me. If you get this, send help. I'm holed up in the shoe storeroom. The code's 0928.
You unlock this?
Keep a lookout. There.
Child star. Child star. I'm just a star. Here. No excuse for a racket. I'm out in
You should know that I'd do anything to protect my child.
Plasmids are now available in drinkable form. Drinkable?
keep dropping audio diaries in the pneumo tubes like a message in a goddamn bottle, hoping one will get through and someone will save me. If you get this, send help. I'm holed up in the shoe storeroom. The code's 0928.
Gotta get my act together. You promised never again!
Hee
I can't stay mad at you.
I could kind of lead him to this thing, but I ended up backing up right into that. Neat.
Heartless. That's what this town is. All my audio diaries begging for rescue came back unread, marked return to sender, insufficient postage.
I get some work, but I want to get back to real acting. Make yourself.
Mr. DeWitt, here!
Perfect timing.
He's again.
Don't you want to be as brilliant as you can possibly be? Visit Neptune's Bounty. Smart for your brain.
That's what I've been lacking. And it's
Looks like the plasma department is back that way. I'm sure we'd find something useful there.
Welcome to the Circus of Value! No refund, no return! The value!
Help me out with this lock?
On it. All done.
I've had it with this insolent behavior!
You need this!
That'll do.
I think I broke it.
Say, have you heard about the hottest new plasmid from Ryan Industries?
Need a light or dry your hair. Want your thing well done, but when it comes, it's rare. Don't fret. It's not the rapture way. Try Devil's Kiss and Plasmids from Ryan Industries today.
Why did Ryan lock up all of Fontaine's followers in a department store?
He needed somewhere to put Fontaine's buttonman. Why not shut down the competition in the bargain?
But I thought Andrew Ryan was all about free markets and open competition.
All those ideas lose their luster when the quarterly earnings come in and you find the other guys eating your lunch. Either way, Fontaine's dead.
Were sad, they missed the fair. In Bronco, now they're overjoyed and lighter than air. In Bronco, it's better than a carnival ride. You should always keep a bottle close by your side. In Bronco, the law of gravity defied. Bucking Bronco, the plasmid that gives everyone a lift. Fun for all, from Fontaine Futuristics.
Real well, howdy.
Huh? What's that, cookie face?
It's freezing in here.
Something tells me all that cold isn't just coming from the ice rink.
Greatest lie ever created. What is the most vicious obscenity ever perpetrated on mankind? The Holocaust. No.
Can you get this open?
Looks easy enough. Got it.
Whenever anyone wants others to do their work,
You really can put it away.
they're out. Never mind your own needs, they say. So, state. Done for the king of God. How many catastrophes were launched with the words, "Think of yourself"? It's the king and country crowd who light the torch of destruction. It is this great big bird, fly, which has changed humanity to an endless cycle of guilt and pain.
Nobody gets even a sip unless I say so. You got it. Anyone comes near that bottle without permission is a dead man.
Who the hell are you? You in the bedroom?
Here you go! That's all I have right now. Mr. DeWitt, the plasmid? Have you forgotten what we came for?
You want to take a look at this?
I'll see what I can do. It's done.
Damn it, that son of a bitch drank every last bottle of Old Man Winter.
I think I can help.
What was that?
It's a new plasmid. Lets me bring in things that might exist, but don't.
I'm not sure I understand. What's it called?
Tear.
Where'd you find that?
You don't expect a girl to share all her secrets, do you, Mr. DeWitt?
Freeze your enemies. Shatter them into 1,000 pieces.
ones that survive, but the best, those most capable of change. A good start is thinking for yourself.
I gave you my all.
All right. I know you're the client and all, but I've gone about far enough without a few answers.
My purpose here is none of your concern. Consider me a means to an end.
Then why do I get the feeling I'm being set up?
I told you I'm in collections. An account is in arrears. My clients simply want to see matters set to right.
Don't make any sense, that's all.
If you don't like the arrangement, the bathysphere's back that way.
There.
Sure thing.
Wait, how could you?
Okay, catch!
Much obliged. Go ahead.
Bet.
Do it.
All right. If Sally's not your daughter, what's she to you? Why risk life and limb?
It's part of the job.
You owe me no explanation.
She's just another orphan. After Fontaine went down, City was lousy with him.
And?
I don't know. You have a reason for every stupid thing you've ever done? He started showing up, looking peaked. More fool me to feed the brat. Should have known she would never leave.
How did you lose her?
It's none of your business.
Yeah, I'll keep the reload speed on.
Something about you doesn't sit right.
Yes?
Wouldn't peg you as the rapture type. Not even a little.
If you mean I have no interest in joining the Andrew Ryan Book Club, you'd be right. Just another set of fanatics with a different set of books.
I gamble.
What?
You asked me how I lost Sally. I gamble. Took her somewhere kids got no business being. I was winning. In a place like that, you don't let a kid out of your sight.
But you did.
Yeah, and here we are. But the million-dollar question is, what's she to you?
I have an interest in reuniting you with her. Isn't that reason enough?
Let's hope Cohen was on the level when he said this is where we'd find Sally.
I can only imagine what they would do with a child in a place like this.
Cohen's halfway to Splicetown. Probably thought putting a child in prison would be high art.
The sooner we find her, the better.
Come on
Sally!
out there!
Sally, come out of there.
I can't see her.
What are you doing?
This is a schematic for the venting system. It shows there are more vents like this one in electronics, the bistro, returns, the book department, and the appliance show floor.
So?
If she's in there are only 6 vents she can come out of. And now there are 5. All these vents are connected to the central heating unit. If we close them off and turn the heat up, she'll be forced out through the central exhaust. It's the only exit.
You want to burn her alive?
No, we just make it hot enough to flush her out.
Can't do that.
Look, either we find her, or one of those splicers will.
All right. Where are the other vents?
Up ahead.
Can you open this?
Okay. All done.
Come on, love. Oh, Mickey just wants to give you a little squeeze.
See the vent? Over there. Two down. Where to now?
Of another future, huh? Yeah, the kid got hold of that damn radar range last night. Started trying it out on everything. Apples, marshmallows, spoons. Had himself a fine time until our Pekingese stepped in the way. And for some reason, I'm the one in touch with the wife. Well, I locked the damn thing up. Oh, so don't forget the code. It's 3958.
Open it.
There.
I'm a legend, you hear?
That one!
A legend!
It's not working! Where is she?
Come on. Baby.
Now I just hang around outside the place she's staying. Listen, honey. You know there's rats in there. The size of ponies.
Steve, take it! Here!
Elizabeth?
Okay!
Stay away from her!
There you go.
Do it.
Done. Go ahead. I'll be fine. We need to close these vents.
It's locked.
Ah, this won't take long at all.
I'm the independent type, and that's why I smoke
There you go.
high-brand cigarettes.
The government sure does like to tell people.
Halfway there.
Observation number 17 regarding unknown phenomena. Phenomena presents is odd shimmer through which is observed what? Men in strange hats, women in large dresses, buildings that float. Is phenomena window to other space? Other time? What was it Einstein said?
What exactly were they trying to keep out?
Something worse than them.
And what could that be?
You'll know it when you see it. Got a lock, needs picking.
Keep a lookout.
Isn't everything just
There.
wonderful? The food, the band. Even your parents are behaving. Really? You mean it?
I don't know if she was dangerous or just insane.
Next time, I'll be sure to ask.
It's simple. Mind control, everybody. Public address system. That's how you do it, Kara. Just like that.
Wake up, son. You worry you shouldn't sleep so deeply. Won't have any horseplay.
Rapture's most beloved musical artist returns with
Did someone get in?
Why can't Franklin read quietly in a corner like I did as a child? Careless. Not a single thought to where an accident might leave us. Well, Dr. Wortham prescribed a plasmid. A mother's little helper to keep me sharp. I've had my misgivings, but I let my guard down for a second. That boy may get himself killed.
Just hurry!
Zero. Sales. That's what you know.
Bob Levine! Catch Mr. DeWitt!
That'll do.
I'll try to keep you soft. There. close these vents. Okay, next one.
Go ahead.
Sure thing!
Let's hammer this thing out. Make yourself. Yes, show me.
I can't switch guns. Why can't I switch guns? It's on the floor and I can't switch to it, and I have no ammo for my. I can't switch to it. There's no prompt to switch the guns. But why not? It's just sitting there. I can't even do anything with it.
Do it.
Sure thing.
Too bad I've used all of them. Because there was no ammo. I can't. There's no guns to switch to, apparently.
Do it.
There you go. Go on without me.
I'm hitting the navigate button, but I'm not getting any navigate options.
Sally? Sally, it's me, Booker.
Welcome to the Circus of Values!
Now, you come out now. Sally? Dear, do you hear me? It's me, Booker. Now listen, dear. You come out right now!
Mr. DeWitt, she's not coming. Now let's get the rest of these vents sealed. It's the only way. There should be one more.
Need a lock picked.
Seems easy enough. Got it. It's the last one.
Where's the exhaust?
In the toy department. What is that thing in there?
It's a radar range. Never could figure out if the thing's designed to cook a turkey or a splicer.
Damn door's got a key code lock. No way to get in without knowing what it is.
There are millions of bacteria in each drop of saliva. Did he brush his teeth? Well, what if he touched a doorknob and then put his fingers to his lips? I waited weeks for that kiss. And ruined.
It was one of the other ones. Yeah.
Who's that?
Let somebody!
Go ahead.
There you go.
What's that, cookie face?
You get used to it.
Once again, can't switch guns.
No excuse for a racket. Come out and show yourself.
That's what you get. And there's no cure but the madhouse.
Did you come to Rapture because it seemed fashionable? What? Are you
Nope. Alright. Let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and call it on that one. Pretty get late. You know, seems like a bit of a turn in the right direction. Kind of seems to address the, use of the things for the environment a little bit. So we'll see how the DLC plays out. And I might try to do more in the weeknight. Hard to tell sometimes if I'm gonna have the availability for it. But yeah, until next time.